Reed here, 503 Pest. We're going to go on a crawl space tour today and explain a lot of what goes on in the crawl space under the house, where usually nobody goes except for me. Look at this beautiful staging in this place. Isn't this cool? This house is going on the market and it is just awesome. I love what they've done with the staging. Now the crawl space, another story. Ready for a tour? Here we go. Pardon the shaking and the camera movements and whatnot, but it gets a little crazy trying to videotape in a crawl space because I have to have my gloves off to hold the phone and then push the buttons and everything. So bear with me on that. Okay, we have just dropped into the crawl space. This is giving you an idea how tall it is. There's my knee pad right there, right? So that's all space we get in that crawl space. Right up to the knee, so 30 inches or so. Okay, right off the bat, crawl space. This crawl space has no insulation under it. I recommend no insulation under crawl spaces for rodent habitat, air quality, price, microbial growth. This crawl space has no insulation under it. See the boards right there? See the floorboards? That is no. This is not mold. That is just sap and staining or whatnot from the wood. So anyway, right off the bat, what do we got here? That is a rat nest, one of many in the crawl space. This is what you don't see when there's vapor barrier. So normally you have, see this black plastic right here? That's all been cut and removed at this point. But under it, that's where your rats live. That's what they do. So if they don't have insulation under the floorboards and they want to live here, they're going to be stealing insulation from, I'm going to zoom in here, your heating ducts, ventilation right there. They steal it. Okay. I'm going to go around, do a little tour, and show you some close-up stuff. It's pretty amazing what they do. So this is a rat nest. So what they live in the wintertime. They can't survive under freezing temperatures. They're very temperature sensitive. So it's pretty shocking what they pack to their nest, what they do. I'm going to bring a close-up here. There's no rats in here right now. We've done a confirmation. So it's kind of fun to go through and see, look at all the stuff that they pack into these nests. They got foam and nuts and cardboard and garbage and rocks and wire. Look at that. They're going to wire up their little nest for power. Foil, bark dust. Amazing, isn't it? Look at that. All this stuff underneath. Look at all this stuff that they have packed into here, into their nest. Vapor barrier chunks, insulation. All this stuff. They're very productive, very busy little creatures. So there you go. Isn't that amazing? It's all from them. So that's one nest. Believe it or not, there's about 10 under this house. There's about 10 nests. I'm going to take you on a little tour. Right off the bat, pier post, pier block, vapor barrier, okay? Post, beam, tongue and groove subfloor, okay? And you go up top and you got carpet. So right here you got subfloor, underlayment. No, sorry. You got your subfloor, it's a tongue and groove. Okay, so this is the groove in it. Okay. Tongue and groove. This is separated because it's old and wood shrinks. It's one of the issues with tongue and groove. If it's not seasoned right, they'll go together tight, separate. That's separated about 1/4 inch. Anyway, that's not the point of this interview, but this gives you an idea of what it looks like in a case. So you got subfloor, you got underlayment, carpet. This is a closet, so there's no pad in the carpet. There's no point having a pad in the closet. So that's what it looks like. And you got your, cove baseboard, and you got your paint and your door frame. Okay. Moving along, right off the bat, pier posts are lined up like guards at the British Parliament here. Normally we don't like to see this many pier posts. It makes it really difficult to work, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pier posts. Bam, 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 bam. That's a lot of pier posts. It makes it really difficult to deal with doing vapor barrier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the other side you got it lined up. 1, 2, 3. I mean, this is a lot of pier posts. it makes it difficult to travel around when you got all these pier posts. The older homes are kind of post and beam. You got a lot more space, spaced out about 10 feet. So here we go, rat nest number 2. Look at that. They've been packing in wire, towels, you know, the same kind of deal, right? Plastic, garbage, and stuff. So that's what you get. Rat nests. Now, moving along, this is tight, so you just have to bear with me. Packing it, they pack in stuff, bird feed, bird seed, or whatever, squirrel food or bird seed, and they got bones. Look at that, they got a stash of bones. See that? Let me zoom in on that. You know, like you make a stew or something? Is that what that's from? You know, like you make something on the stove? So, pier post, bam, 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 bam. I mean, come on, builders. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a lot of pier posts, and there's another makeshift pier post. Maybe there's some floor squeaking, and I put in another one. Like they need another one. It's already got a lot of pier posts under here. Okay, I'm going to show you a burrow hole, because that's the deal with this situation. Is that there wasn't an entry point. Maybe there was at some point, and they blocked the entry point, and the rats got trapped in. Then you end up with, they dig out to get on the outside. So I'm going to show you people what a burrow looks like. We have to travel there, but in the meantime, I'll show you some things. So here goes another HVAC line, right? Insulation free for the taking. Rats get in, they steal it. There's another nest. See that? So it's spread out because I've been rifling through this, but that's another nest. Just a bunch of stuff that they've been hoarding. All right, I got to go into this line. I got about 12 inches. Camera's going to shake a bit, but we'll emerge on the other side. There's another bone. Isn't that amazing? They're all over the place over here. Maybe they had a dog and the rats are just stealing the dog bones or something. This is a radiant heat setup. It's not a true radiant heat setup, but see how the insulation's on the wall right there? That's how this is insulated. That right there is a foundation vent. And again, under the floor, no insulation. Can you imagine if there was 8 inches of insulation? How much room? You would have no room to move. That happens all the time. Okay, moving along here. We're into the living room right here. Okay, so we're heading over to the burrow. When I remove vapor barrier, then it exposes everything, so you can see everything. There's a couple of holes that are trying to tunnel and make a little nest under. They dig under, then they put nesting over it, and they have a nice little cave. There's some of that same nesting material. See that? Just a bunch of things. Okay, here we go. Moving on to the burrow. This is when I talk about burrows. A lot of times I don't get to show them because another bone. They're everywhere. Because they're hard to find. You can find burrows, but it's easier to find when you remove the vapor barrier. Then you can see everything. Okay, this here is overspill. This is a newer kind of deal with concrete. Like it's getting sloppier. Like the trades of doing pier pads are getting a little bit sloppy, and it costs money to return concrete. So the overspill, they'll just let it kind of spill over. That's not too bad. That's just a little example of overspill. Some houses, the newer ones, they're horrible. You'd be crawling around, and it's just like you're climbing a mountain or something, because there's just gobs and gobs of overspill. So that's what overspill is. So basically, they filled up the pier pad box, and then it spilled over. Overspill, right? So this is a good one right here. They didn't overspill the box, but it makes it really hard to crawl on, really hard to pull vapor barrier because it rips. It's just kind of a pain. Here we go, another nest. See, look at that. It's a rat nest. They stole the yellow insulation. They took a foil from the silver insulation. They took vapor barrier, all these items to make their nest. Look at that, isn't that amazing? Look at that. Look, it took all these construction. They're all hoarders. They take a little hook. Look at that. What are they going to hang a picture in the little rat nest or something? All this stuff. Amazing. They take garbage. Look, here's more bones. More birdseed. So what they do, they get in here and they hide under the crawl space. There's another rat nest right over there. See that under there? Okay, burrow time. Burrow, this is what we came for. Where is it? Over here. Okay. See, this is introduce people to burrows. This is a burrow. This is not a low point drain. This is a burrow. See the hole? Look at that. Size of a baseball. This one has cobwebs on it. Can you? I don't know if the phone is zooming in, but we look for cobwebs. If there's cobwebs, not likely to be travel, obviously, because if they're traveling daily in and out to get water sources, they're going to break the cobwebs. So if anybody's in hunting and they go on a trail and there's cobwebs, that probably means the elk or deer have not been through that trail within a day, because it takes time for those cobwebs to form. Now, were they trapped in? Were they digging into the house, or are they digging out of the house? Well, that's the whole question we can find out in about 2 seconds here. Look at that. What does that tell you? Tailings. Which way would they be digging, right? Out, over, pulling their tailings up. You watch the gold shows when they're doing tailings. They filter through, get the gold, and they put the tailings in a big pile. That pile, 10 inches taller than the ground. Look at that. That's tailings, so they're trapped in. So what happens is they had, some point in the last 30 years, they had rats stuck in that were trapped, and this is how they got out. This is how they dug their way out, because they made the tailings. So you get a big mound of tailings. Okay, that's it. So you got bark dust. No, that's not bark dust. That's like cardboard. See, that's what they do. They get up here and they tear apart the foil. So this was probably filled from the outside, just to cover the hole, right? If you get a hole in the yard, you cover it. So that was probably covered from the outside. Pheromones got washed away. There's no scent trail on it, and it's just an old burrow. So basically what we do with the old burrow is we fill it in. Not much you can do. Some people want to do like concrete, get fancy. It's not really worth the time and money to do something that elaborate. We've already done a setup in here. There's no current activity. We do that first thing on every home that has a rodent issue, is we do a setup, find out, is this old activity or new? Because sometimes you can have really new activity and not have sign that's telling you that it's new. You can have rats and not have droppings. So anyway, that's what we do with burrows. See, it's all filled. The inspector's going to come in here and say this looks lovely and pest free. Okay, so we're going to go around and pick up the bones and pick up the whatnots and things. But anyway, that's a burrow. That's how you solve that problem. It's filled. There's the mound. It can, stay there. It's not going to hurt anything. So sometimes you'll have them digging from the outside. Usually it's from the inside out, because they're trapped in and they're trying to get out. And usually when you have a burrow, you don't have another obvious hole. You can have other holes, but a lot of times the obvious is that why would they go to the trouble to dig a burrow if they have a hole in a vent, right? You have a hole in the vent, much easier for them to come in and out. So they're going to save their energy and not waste their time digging a big hole in the tunnel like El Chapo. Like an El Chapo rat that digs tunnels miles and miles. See, there's a foundation vent. Sometimes those have holes, and that's how the rats come in and out. Sorry, I'm talking fast and kind of winded because you're kind of squished down here, so it changes your breathing and stuff. But anyway, okay, so that's a burrow. You've seen some nesting. You've seen the vapor barrier. This is an old roll of vapor barrier. A lot of times when people do vapor barrier, they just kind of leave the scraps. But code on homes is 6 mil, so vapor barrier, black. You don't want to use clear because it promotes microbial growth, because it turns your crawl space into greenhouse, because the UVs come in through the foundation vents, and then you can grow things under your crawl space. I want to do that. They used to do that in the old days, but now you have black vapor barrier, 6 mil. That's what we do. More bones. It's like a boneyard under here. You know what I mean? Okay, well, we're back to the hatch here. So that is a tour of a crawl space with the rodent issues that have been resolved. Now it's just a cleanup. Now that everything's resolved, we're doing some cleanup. So we're removing the vapor barrier. We're going to disinfect the crawl space. And that bag right there is to put all the nesting material in, and then we'll be good to go. So the pheromones will be gone, and then we'll have a nice, clean, good home under here. So that's what we're aiming for. That's our goal when we do all these houses, to clean them up, pest-free, rodent-free, to get rid of the pheromones that can attract. Because the pheromones and the droppings. Where's some droppings at? Here's very small. Is that droppings? Yeah. Nice droppings, but a lot of times you get droppings on the pure pads. That's what the inspectors, they get in the whole hatch and they look at the pure pads, see if there's droppings. So those have pheromones. So those even though the rats are gone, those can stay and attract other rats. So you don't want that. So we remove that and we disinfect it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the crawl space and you got to see some rat things. And this is what we do, 503 Pest. We clean crawl spaces and we eliminate rodent issues and pest issues. So we could also do treatments under your crawl space. We do spider treatments. We'll do spider treatment under your crawl space. Ants, a lot of ants or colonies under the pure pads, or not on the edges. Every company will spray the edges and the perimeter of the house, but not. I think we're the only ones that go in the crawl space and treat for ants under the crawl space. So we will do that, and you'll have much more effective. A lot of times people have ants that go on forever and ever and ever because, well, they're not spraying where the ants are. They're not putting bait where the ants are. A lot of times I do vapor barrier, and they'll chew little holes in the vapor barrier and have a nest under it. It happens all the time. Okay, thank you for joining Crawlspace Tour, 503 Pest, signing out.